Hey folks, Cool18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play City Skylines After Dark. While we are waiting for our city to continue to fill up, we've got a lot of houses, people are moving in, we're just waiting, well actually moving in very quickly right now. We're just waiting for the current houses to fill up and to start getting demand again. While we're doing that, I want to take a look at some of the new other options. We talked about taxis last time. One of the other very exciting things in After Dark is the new International Airport. It is the largest building in the game. It is quite monstrously huge. And a little tricky to place because of the slope over here, but most of the map here is flat enough to fit it in. Or we had a couple spots right there. So you can see it's got a couple of runways that'll get a lot of action. The other exciting thing about this is it actually has its own built-in metro station. So you can hook up the International Airport to your subway lines without too much effort, and that's going to make things a lot nicer because airports are usually pretty brutal when it comes to traffic. Another really nice addition is the new shipping center, the cargo hub, which is both a shipping, like a boat thing and a rail thing combined. You go directly from the ships onto rail cars, and again, that really optimizes a lot of the flow in your cities. By moving the goods around a lot easier. Plus, it's really realistic. I mean, the idea of the train line going right into the same sort of, overall cargo hub as shipping is very realistic and awesome. All right, did we get a first farm? No. Got confused by that icon. Still waiting for the farming to kick in. It should. Right now, it actually probably doesn't have access to power, but that's not what's stopping it from actually popping in at this point. It just... Once the first building goes in there, it'll start to complain about power, and then it will be good. It's just the industrial area is not really growing right now. We don't have enough demand for it. We've got more people coming in, looking for more jobs, which is going to be great. Good stats there. We could enact some policies. I don't think we need to do that. School's out. The citizens will prefer working over education. Oh, right. Harsh prison sentences. Yeah, so school's out is basically the opposite of the education boost. Harsh prison sentences. Double the usual prison sentences reduces crime rate. But we have to build more prisons if we're going to do that. There is quite the smoggy haze over the industrial area, it looks like. That is great. I like that effect a lot. Traffic patterns do change between day and night. So people will travel back and forth between buildings potentially multiple times within a single day cycle. The day-night, because everything is still sort of approximated, right? But the day-night cycle will change the traffic generation patterns. People will go to slightly different places between the day and the night. And overall, you have a lot less traffic during the night, which gives you a good opportunity to do some road works, for example. Unless you have a thriving nightlife. Now, right now, we don't quite have that. We're a very small town still. But coming up nicely. Again, continuing to grow very well. Let's make sure we're at full speed 3, since we've got nothing to do but wait here. Any other new buildings we could highlight? There are. Just trying to remember what they might be, and if we might encounter them. Now, there's certainly a lot more buildings that can just show up visually. That is an addition. There's something like 70 new buildings, I believe, in the game. So there's the prison was another one. I don't think there was a new... Well, there's the bus station, which is not a depot. It's not where the buses come from. It's just a good place for people to switch from one bus line to another in a bigger city. We'll try to incorporate that in there at some point. Train tracks, train line, those are there. Yeah, those were there before, I think. Oh, power. Just not enough generation. So let's go ahead and put down another advanced bit. Just try to squish it in there as tightly as possible. Awesome. Again, we may not want to cut off boats using these. I think the boats can get through them just fine, but it'll look a little silly if we just have a ton of them. How's my water situation? Water availability is starting to get a little bit low, so let's drop another water tower inside of our residential area for now. Again, I'm a little bit worried because there's not much of a current as to where the polluted water will end up. Now, once we expand our borders, we can go and grab our water from very far away. Dump it one place, pick it up somewhere else, which would be excellent, but for now, we don't really have that option. Commercial demand is starting to go up a bit. Interesting. I do have some commercial zones. I can certainly zone some more. Where would I want to put it, though, is the question. I can put it along here. I think it might not be a terrible idea. I want to minimize, I think, how many buildings are right on this stretch of road, because that's going to add traffic. Over here, it's not quite as bad. Here it would be even better. Oh, that's kind of some odd residential over there. Let me do a block that way. I think that'll be fine. You guys have water? Yes, you'll be fine on water. Okay. Don't want to zone too much of it. Although, I don't know. So far, we're pretty much okay. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more of that. All along the inner circle. That will also sort of indirectly boost sort of the success of the industrial area, because they're going to have more places to ship goods to. Hopefully, most of the goods that the commercial area wants are coming from the industrial area, because that will cut back on how much traffic is coming in and out of our city. We can get rid of these lines. Potentially that one as well. Ooh, that's considered to be disconnected now. Okay, that's not good. Actually, let me get rid of this completely and just run it this way. There you go. I just want to free up some potential zoning inside here, right? Like that. There we go. So our houses can grow a little bit bigger. There we are. That power line in the middle of our area was just temporary. Water, they might be complaining. Yeah, it was just about the fact that our water towers didn't have power for a second there. But now they're still okay. That's good. And our incinerator working over here. Building an incinerator this early is very expensive. But we are all of a sudden turning a profit. Of course, we don't have that many services in our town. But really, our people are pretty happy. Still growing very quickly. They still have a lot of space to build houses. There's no reason for us to start zoning more residential yet. You can see this is still working to level up. We'll re-add some of the mods that give us more of the detail later on, because it is quite nice to have. And yeah. I love the look of the water towers. I know they're not as efficient as the other pumps, but man, they are cool to look at. And I still don't trust our polluted water situation here. Do we really not have a river? It is entirely possible. It is entirely possible. There is a completely separated bay over here, though. Well, that is good. We can... maybe we'll build... Well, that's a lot of cool cliffs and coasts and stuff. I'm not sure if we're going to build an industrial area over there, in which case we'd pump out the sewer water, or if it's going to be residential, in which case it'd be a good place to take it in instead. In fact, we might develop more of this area as an industrial area. Have our cargo ships come in. There's going to be plenty of coast for that, in which case we can just continue to pump the sewage out here for later. You were complaining about a lack of workers, because you would like educated workers. And we don't really have enough of those. We do have an elementary school. Educates young people. Now, and that's all we need. We just need basic education, so they will get it. We don't need high school education yet, although at some point it'll be nice, but right now, not quite enough of it. Do we have enough capacity? No, we can actually use another elementary school. Well, that's because no one's been educated yet. I find it hard to believe that this area will, in the end, need multiple elementary schools. It's just because everyone who comes into your town starts off uneducated, and I think that's probably the only issue. I hope. So our commercial area is developing. Starting to get a little bit of demand for residential now, which is good to see. Still got plenty of money in the bank, so let's go ahead and, again, at some point we'll want a proper highway exchange. But for now, it is perfectly fine for us to just say, continue this way. And then what I'd like to do here is, it'd be nice if we could literally continue in the same angle. But I don't know if I could do that reliably. I wonder, if I bulldoze that... Oh, yeah, I can't get it. But I could start there, and then I can't match it. I mean, in the end, I'm going to want this to either tunnel down or bridge over. I could just do that now. What the hell? Let's do it now. And let's bridge over on this one. Short as possible, and then down. There we go. And we can continue with the angle. I think I'm going to want these guys to meet at some point, although right now they can't, because that would be out of range. So we'll just go ahead and put in that bend too, which is actually okay as well. All right. So now there probably will be more traffic over here, or some over here. We could build the on-ramp, off-ramp system right now, but I don't think we need to. Now, we're probably... Well, there's no probably. We are going to want an avenue that goes this way. But I don't want it to be too close to the highway, because we need room for our ramps. Also, if we just build a straight line through here, some people might use this as a shortcut instead of staying on the highway. It'd almost be better to build it a little bit like this, or put in some sort of Y-angle, or some sort of circle junction. Actually, why don't we use... We'll do a bit of a roundabout. Now, I don't have a roundabout. We do have that, but... I think that's a little ridiculous in terms of size. Don't you? So I'm going to use the 2-lane one. Should use the bus and taxi lanes. Or well, we can always upgrade later. What's the cost? 0.8? 0.8, 60 per cell. You know what? Let's use the correct one. Well, the correct-ish one right now. So what we're going to do... let me start from this side so we get a nice 90-degree angle. We're going to build... maybe a little further out, actually. If we are going to do a roundabout. So now that we've got that, we can use the arc tool. It doesn't have to be a particularly big circle. Oh, I have the steam overlay turned on. Sorry, guys. That I screwed up. I'm pretty sure. 1 unit. There we go. 1 unit. 1 unit. And 1 unit. And then it hooks back in over there. Roundabout should be one way, right? Right, I don't have the one way. Oh, that's true. I guess we have to go with the 6-lane. Just feels ridiculous. Forgot I don't have, my mods were giving me the one-way sort of 4-lane roads. It just feels too ridiculous. Takes up too much space. Let's drop it down like that. There. That feels better to me. And then, we don't actually have to have it a 4-way. What we could do is have a nice perpendicular route there. Let's start it a little bit higher. There we are. And then... I don't even think we need a 4-lane anymore. I think we can probably drop back down to a nice 2-lane. Fit in like this. Get a wee bit of a neighborhood there. And then branch off another bit over like that. I mean, we could have a bunch of arcs and things too. I could actually start one. So on this side, build a bit more circular. Don't want to be too close to the highway because it is noisy. And a lot of this is going to be demolished for our on-off ramps later on. But for now, that's okay. Get something like that. Okay, residential desire is still going up. Mostly commercial, but a little bit of residential. So let's go ahead and paint in some commercial all along the bigger avenues, because there's a fair amount of noise that gets created there, and this is less sensitive to it. And then perhaps just the marquee tool to fill in inside with some low density residential. We'll go to high density later on. I guess I probably should have just used the paintbrush. In fact, I'm going to use it now to get rid of that, because I don't know exactly what I want there yet. You will need water. Let me build out this way. I mean, it sort of breaks us out of our optimal pattern, but that's okay. There we are, and power will be an issue. We'll definitely have to run power lines across. Trying to figure out where we're going to want to do that. Say something like that. And then that should be able to grow from there, and then we'll rezone some stuff later on. This should probably have its own... Maybe on the inside. It's hard to place the buildings on the inside, though. It'll be a lot more reliable to put the services on the outside. 1 health. Even then, it's a little tricky. 1 fire, and 1 police. And we still don't have a prison. There we are. You're getting power, except we don't have enough power. So let's get another one of those in there. Okay, that's going to be good. Yes, for now. Water, just barely. We could preemptively put a water tower maybe right in the middle. We could put a statue. We could do all sorts of things, but water tower is going to be fine and lovely. Especially later on when some of this gets upgraded to the high-density buildings. This is the European map tile set, which will become really obvious once we go to high-density residential. Okay. You guys are still complaining about a lack of educated workers. Oh, let's also put a school over here. Since technically our capacity is a little low, again, I think that will change pretty quickly and dramatically once our city matures a bit, because everyone who's coming to the city is uneducated. So this, I think, what our positioning will be sufficient to supply our people. I mean, right now it's looking pretty sufficient. It'll drop again as more people move in over here, but I think it'll be all right. A few little parks would be nice. We don't have a Japanese garden yet. It's such a small radius, though, and it's pretty pricey. But it's nice. Let's put one of those in, and then... Oh, what's this? Magica theme park. Oh, cool. We'll want one of those soon. We got the Paradox Plaza. We'll put one of those. Maybe on the other side. Oh, there's a school there. Alright, it's pretty good. Covers most things. Boom! A little bit of joy over there. And there we go. So right now we mostly have industrial demand. Okay, we zoned this industrial. We zoned it for the farming. Fertile land. Definitely fertile. No one's wanted to do it yet. I mean, yeah, we still don't have power to this area, but they'll move in first. I'm very confused. Very confused. Well, let's wait a little bit longer. Some garbage complaints, and oh yeah, these are emptied because they leveled up and they didn't have the workers. So eventually they'll be replaced, but while we're waiting for them to be replaced, they're dragging down nearby land values. So we may as well just go bulldoze them. And yeah, we probably want more garbage collection. I think I'll put it over here. And we'll actually go ahead with an actual garbage dump. Right there. Ooh, that'll have to be moved once we get on and off ramps. Let me move you right away. Right away. Because you'll be in the way. This should be fine. I don't know if pollution bothers farmland. It probably does. Oh, and all of a sudden things are kicking in. Maybe they were complaining because they didn't have any services nearby. That's possible. That is possible. I mean, I'm still thinking things would have kicked in at some point. But let's go and get them a wee bit of stuff over here so we've got a little less to worry about. And yes, we'll run a line. I just wanted to see what was the first thing to spawn in. So let's run a power line across this way and then to there. And then everything's going to spawn near that. Wonderful. So these guys will produce some basic goods that will get loaded into trucks and then have to be processed somewhere to be turned into commercial goods. Do we actually have insufficient power? We are running a little low on power. Let's keep building a nice little line of stuff over here. It can stir all the poop water. Push it further away. Alright, you have water? You do. Sewage treatment's starting to get a little bit low. So we'll go and get another drain pipe. At some point, I will want to upgrade, I think, in this town to the pretty water processing, but it's too early for that. Too early, too expensive. We'll be fine. Obviously, the land values here are going to be pretty poor. I don't think we're ever going to build along this coast. I think this will become a cargo shipping place more than anything. We do have a lot of other coast. And there's a lot of cliffs, though. Actually, kind of limiting how much we can build on the coast. Maybe I should have loaded a slightly different map to show off the coastal features a bit more. Oh, we get in the shadow of the mountain. Oh, that's great stuff as the sun comes down. Alright, they're still complaining about some workers. And here too. Again, these buildings will clear themselves up on their own, but we may as well hurry things along. Meanwhile, the schooling... I mean, I could encourage more people to go to school a bit more. 38% of our population are educated at this point, so we actually have a half-decent thing, and the capacity is basically keeping pace. I think people are properly starting to graduate now. It looks like we might need a few more fire services at this end, so let me go ahead and do one of those. Excellent. It'll make people happier as well, which is always nice to see. Crime situation. Crime is fine. And we've got extra police stations over here and everything. Next demand will be a little bit more residential. So I think what I'll do is continue this a little further that way, and continue this one I really was trying to avoid a square block, but one here wouldn't be too bad. We're just going to end it there, and then we're going to go back to this one and do that. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to bisect it that way. That'll be fine. And then we'll switch to the local roads, which I'm going to pull off of this mostly. So all the local traffic will be using this internal block. We're not messing around with one-ways yet. We will want to, but we can wait a bit longer for that. Let me do this. Lots of room for green space inside. Oh, I like that. And then I can actually connect up this way. This zigzag, people shouldn't be using this as a shortcut for anything particularly notable. I'm going to try to avoid four-way intersections where I can. We'll do that, and again, we'll have plenty of room for green space. And actually, should I high-density residential this area? I think so. We've got all these straight lines. It'll look really nice if the buildings are all squooshed together. So let's do the high-density residential. There's not going to be enough demand to fill this up right now, but it'll get there. We'll go ahead and get that going. Let me actually go and erase a wee bit of this. And try to minimize how much traffic is in here, and it's going to be replaced later on. Well, it might not be completely replaced later on with the highway on and off ramps, but this will probably become a tunnel that goes underneath there to connect to the other side, and then we'll have highway connections. Something of that nature. Water. Before these guys start to complain. Let's get you down there. 440 is more or less optimal. There we go. Put that back in. Power will be able to reach. And let's go and set up another primary school. And maybe our high school will be here as well. We'll start to get that down. This will add... Oh, it doesn't quite fit. Really? But it would fit this way, in this direction. But it can't because of this school. So let's take you. I'm going to move you to, say, there. And then if I angle it that way, then we get decent coverage. Good. And you actually should be okay on police and fire. So we're just going to wait for now. Industrial demand is going up. Are you complaining about workers? Need more uneducated workers. Watch us be educating people too much. I think we're just waiting for more people to come into the city. And the city continues to grow. Income is positive, which is always where we want to be. Power situation needs a little bit of help relatively soon. Let's go ahead and start stacking them up over here. Water situation. Water availability could get a little bit of a boost. So again, we'll go ahead and put a water tower right behind the school. I gotta say, water towers, they are more costly than the other pumps, but I still like the way they look in a city. And again, right now I don't feel safe. Until we expand more more tiles, then it'll be fine. Again, I can potentially build, say, in this direction over here. Use that as a place to draw water from, and also to build some nice lakefront property. Alright, people complaining about water, workers and stuff. A little bit of a power complaint. This should tick in soon. Actually, rather than leave them be, and rather than just wait, let's go ahead and give these guys a bit of a park. Say right here. There we go. That'll actually be a way to connect up the power. We've got a Japanese garden already. Oh, let's use a baseball court or a basketball court. No, tennis. Tennis. That's what that is. Right there. Get a little bit of housing value. We're not going to go for super wealthy areas quite yet. We don't need to worry about that. We're just going to be happy just getting people, you know, halfway content with their lot. City's still continuing to grow. That's going to be good enough for now. And actually, I think... Oh, right, that's commercial. No, that's, yeah, that's good to have that commercial. Leave that there. There's not a ton of demand for it right now, but people won't want to travel that far to do their shopping, and it'll be very convenient to have that street there be commercial. Traffic is still flowing right now. This is not a very good configuration overall for traffic. Oh, quite a bit over here. I'm actually very surprised. But that's because the only way to get in and out of the commercial or industrial area and get out of the city is through that little bit right now, because this went away. So we are going to make an adjustment there at some point. Although right now, it's not, the traffic is unmanageable, but it's very far from ideal. And it might be time actually for us to build a little interchange over here. I don't know. Now the problem is, without the traffic management mods, we're going to end up creating a lot of intersections, right? Like, let's say I want to let people get off the highway here and get into this area. I mean, most of them are just coming in here, which is fine, but maybe they want to go in over there. Or, again, and because of the light, well, actually, that wouldn't be the end of the world. Let's actually use the straight tool and just connect up this way. So, without any traffic mods, this will create a traffic light over here, and people can use either direction. This is also a very short route, so it'll probably cause a lot of traffic backup. Let's not do it that way. Let's do it. We're going to do quite a long ramp here. From here, just figure out sort of the smallest that works. There we go. And maybe switch to the curvy tool. It's sort of being a pain in the butt. Go along the road, and then connect up that way. So again, it will create a traffic light, which is often bad. People can use this to turn left or right, so they can use this to get into this area. That'll alleviate some of the pressure over here. Now, is that just going to move the pressure to there? I don't know. But this almost looks like a proper, like, like exit lane? As it's like a merge lane, but the opposite of that, an unmerged lane. Which is really what we need for our highways. We need, like, a highway, like, where this lane ends, kind of thing. And it'd be nice with the traffic control mod. What I would do here is I would turn off the lights on this intersection and make this only a right turn, for example. And then I would loop another one, say just off of here to the other side over here. And again, only right turn and no traffic lights. So people are just looking to merge into traffic. And ideally, you would have it join up some piece of road that was like sort of 2 lanes here and 3 lanes over here with a hookup going into it. You know, that's the ideal sort of traffic route that we want. But let's run that for a little while and see. Again, at night, some of our traffic does go away, which is actually kind of helpful. Money's still coming in. People are still coming in. Excellent. We will... Oh, we should upgrade our bus lanes. I don't think I'm going to rush into a metro. I'm notoriously bad about delaying metros because it feels dumb to have a subway system in a town of like 6,000 people. But again, when you're playing City Skylines, 6,000 people is not really the same as a 6,000 person town in real life, or a microscopic village, more like. So I will try to go and get a metro set up sooner than I normally do this time around, but not quite yet. But next episode, we'll finish up the bus system, and then we'll continue to upgrade this. Ooh, power. Let me go in to do that right before we leave, though, because otherwise I might forget that things are complaining about a lack of go juice. There we go. Water getting tight, but still okay. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.